Well, the ANC will be launching their 2021 local government election manifesto this afternoon. For more, we're joined by our reporter, Samkele Maseko, who's with us from Tshwane. All right, what do we expect then this afternoon, Samkele?
Well, essentially, Flo, what will be happening is that the ANC will be launching its elections manifesto here at the Church Square in Tshwane, the capital city of the Republic of South Africa. The ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will take to the podium at 7 o'clock this evening to deliver the elections manifesto of the African National Congress. I'm going to ask my colleague Kwazi Manzi just to show you the setup here at Church Square. There is the podium where the ANC president will be delivering the manifesto of the governing party here at Church Square. And he will also be alongside other top 6 officials of the governing party, excluding the suspended Secretary General. We also do understand that they will be adhering strictly to COVID-19 regulations, that there will be no more than 500 people as per the COVID-19 regulations that have been set up by government. You can see those police dogs who are currently sweeping the area, which is normal protocol when a head of state is currently at a venue of a political formation or any other gathering outside of his offices at the union buildings.
Manifesto launches have historically been a time for political parties to sort of show their might in terms of crowds, but certainly at this time, protocol has to be observed when it comes to COVID-19 protocols, and I'm wondering how it's affecting those manifestos. For the most part, some of it has to be held virtually.
The issue of stadiumology is no longer a factor in South Africa, particularly knowing that there is this pandemic that is ravaging the country of coronavirus. So those people would normally go to the FNB Stadium, which the ANC normally fills, or they would go to Ellis Park, Orlando Stadium, or Moses Mabhida Stadium in KwaZulu-Natal. That is a thing of the past. As you saw, the EFF yesterday in their manifesto launch, they went to Gandhi Square despite having thousands of people there, over 20,000 who had gathered. And you've got the Democratic Alliance that has said that the EFF must be investigated for violating the COVID-19 lockdown regulations. You saw John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA, and also Natasha Mazzoni, who is the chief whip of the Democratic Alliance, who are speaking on that particular matter. The EFF leader, Julius Malema, speaking on that issue. But the governing party, through its president and through its National Executive Committee, has said that they would be strictly adhering to COVID-19 regulations, and they've even changed the method of campaigning. They're having a campaign that is also on social media. They're having door-to-doors where all National Executive Committee members of the ANC, PEC, REC members are all going out to the over 4,000 wards that are there in the country to engage with South Africans on this particular issue of going out to vote for the governing party come the 1st of November. So the issue where we normally see during campaigns that parties will have a massive rally at a stadium which cost millions of rands, particularly knowing that the governing party doesn't have money, we're not seeing that this year. Instead, it's a small scale manifesto launch, but they, in the words of Fikile Mbalula, have a mass-based appeal where their leaders are on the ground. Their leaders in PECs, in RECs, in zonal structures and in branch structures are out engaging with the people, as opposed to having mass gatherings. In a way, that has created that election fever that you normally see during elections. It's not yet there in South Africa for these local government elections. The mood is very dull. It's not that electioneering mood that we normally know because of this particular pandemic of COVID-19.
You talk about the mood, and interestingly, as we were watching the door-to-door campaigns that were happening, and you might have seen some of the videos that we saw on social media and certainly in the media at large of instances where ANC representatives were not necessarily received well when they were going out in the communities. And one wonders how much of an impact or an effect that will have on today's manifesto launch, or if perhaps the party will choose to ignore the issue. But certainly something to take note of.
Those issues of communities not receiving the governing party, well, particularly it happened in the Eastern Cape. I know it also happened in Soweto, where the ANC president was the very same day, where the former executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, who died on that particular evening, Executive Mayor Joledima Tongo, there was an issue of the ANC leaders not being welcomed in the Nomzamo informal settlement, knowing that that community had spent about 2.5 years without electricity. ANC leaders went on to Shawelo, where there was issues of electricity as well in that particular area, with protests going to the home of ANC President and President of the Republic's sister's home, Cyril Ramaphosa, in Shawelo, where he also grew up. And communities are venting out their frustrations to ANC leaders in saying that they last saw them when South Africa went to the 2019 general election. Before that, they last saw them when we went to the 2016 local government elections, where the governing party lost the economic hub of the country, Johannesburg. They also lost the capital city. They also lost Nelson Mandela Bay in those 2016 local government elections. So communities are venting out their frustrations to leaders of the governing party. But also, on the other hand, they are also being received warmly, as you'd seen the visuals of the hundreds or thousands of people that gathered in Tembisa yesterday to welcome the ANC president, alongside the provincial chairperson David Makura, regional chairperson of Ekurhuleni Mzwandile Masina, and TK Ngiza, who is the regional secretary of that particular region. So the issue of communities venting out their frustrations varies. The conundrum that the ANC finds itself in the capital city of Tshwane. Yesterday, until the early hours of this morning at 12:30, I know that Phemi Majodina, an ANC member and the chief whip of the National Assembly, she was stuck in dispute resolutions of the city of Tshwane at St. George's Hotel, starting from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right up until 12:30 in the early hours of the morning. Many branches in this particular region of Tshwane have been disputed by their members. In the words of some ANC members, this regional structure, the REC of Tshwane, is a mess and should be disbanded. Those are the views of some NEC members of the governing party, who are saying that the infighting in this particular region has not subsided from when there was a fight back in 2016, an actual political war between the late Mapiti Matsena and Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, who was the then outgoing executive mayor and the regional chairperson of the region. Fast forward to 2021, you've got a new battle that is raging between Franz Bushilo, who is an REC member, and Dr. Kgoshi Mahepa, who is the regional chairperson of the ANC in Tshwane, and also who's leading the caucus in the city of Tshwane Council. And it tells you that the governing party is far from resolving its issues in this troublesome region, where they lost this particular metro to the coalition of the Democratic Alliance, Freedom Front Plus, COPE, and other political parties who were voting on an issue-to-issue basis with the economic freedom fighters. So the president of the ANC, the top six, or nowadays referred to as the top five, will have to try and mitigate the factions of the governing party in the capital city, but also flow to add for ANC members whom are Thabo Mbeki fanatics. The former president of the ANC and the former president of the Republic is said to be attending his very first manifesto launch of the governing party since he was booted out of the ANC back in 2008, when he resigned as the President of the Republic of South Africa, and after suffering a crushing defeat to former ANC President Jacob Zuma in 2007 in Polokwane. The very same successor of former President Mbeki is missing in this campaign for the local government elections of the ANC. For the very first time since 1994, that former President Zuma will not be part of an ANC campaign due to ill health and also his legal issues that he's facing, and also having been released on medical parole after being incarcerated for 15 months by the Constitutional Court. So former President Zuma is missing. Thabo Mbeki comes back to the fore and attends his very first campaign manifesto launch of the governing party since he was last elected as ANC president, and subsequently since he was booted out of the governing party.
All right, thank you very much, Samkele Maseko, reporting for us in Tshwane this afternoon, where the ANC is launching its election manifesto at around 5 p.m. I do understand that the president will be on the podium at 7, though, but we'll certainly be bringing you rolling footage from around 5 p.m. When events start to get underway. Thanks very much to you, Samkele.